Hope you enjoy everyone. Thanks for watching. This is Rustal Elion. I was giving my latest view on Mobile Suit Gundam, Iron-Blooded Orphans, Season 2, Episode 20. I mean, this episode was one of the best and very unique because it's going to be the Tekkadan and McGillis, his forebears in the Revolutionary Army, versus Rustal Elion and the Abrion Fleet, the Abrion Fleet, and they have superior power to them. And this was literally a kind of one-sided battle because Tekkadan themselves are being devastated by their main, having most of their main force completely, devastated and dismantled at this point by the Abrion Fleet. It's pretty devastating. Because Roster is not an idiot, he knows full well about McGillis and his intention. Remember, he had Vidal, aka Galileo Baldwin, by his side for all this time, and he knew that McGillis was a traitor. He just didn't know when he was going to make his move, and now he does. Now McGillis has shown his hand, even though he has the power of Gunbayo, Akihikayo's own soul, who founded Galahorn. It's going to be a lot harder than he thinks. He's not going to. They're not going to let him get his way, which is why most of the main families, of Galahorn, all their main forces are sticking out of this battle. Basically, it's going to be it's a battle of power between McGillis and Roster. It's a very big deal. Even though they have Tekkadan on their side, they're not going to go that easy. Like, for example, like Barbato, like his main lieutenant, like Julieta, and they have her dealing with Barbatos, and Mikazuki. They're basically trying to weigh Barbatos, trying to keep him separate. Basically, they're gonna smash the whole group apart, make sure they don't focus on one body. They're gonna dismantle them one at a time, basically, just literally crushing them all into pieces until he eventually gets through to them. Basically, he's trying to crush their spirit, because these people are all young. People are young and inexperienced, while Raster, he has experience. He has experienced war. He knows about tactics and battle strategies, and he knows about McGillis. He's not going to let McGillis, just get his way, That's one of the things you got to know. Like, even though they went through a lot, he knows about Tekkadan's strength, but that's not going to be enough against this kind of opponent. This guy controls one of the major forces of Galahorn's main army, That's something you got to consider. Right. Seeing this, McGillis himself, he's still not giving up, even though part of his main force is out there, he's still not found out dismount. We also get to see that there's major damage because of this, because not only is Roster, overwhelming McGillis with single force, he's also using the same illegal weapon, the Dying Slave, that Ilkujan used when he used to take on the Turbans and killed Naze, Except, the Dying Slave, he's not, even though he put Kujo under house arrest and, persecuted him, he knows he had to do it because he had to, make it look like he was the bad guy and had to side with McGillis, just to earn this trust. It was all about misdirection and manipulation, basicable trying to, gain the advantage in this match, this battle of wills. However, he knows he has to be a bit brutal in order to win victory. So he's using this weapon, the Dying Slave, and the same weapon that Kujan used, because and it worked. They were not prepared for this, but he knows that he has to do this. And there was a serious casualties. Not to mention there was damage on our side. Tekkadan themselves also were damage. Fraros, the other one of the freight that was attacked, that was buried with Barbatos, that also suffers damage. Shino, himself, the pilot, is feeling that, everybody, is right now hectic. Everybody on our side is free and knows that they have to keep going because they have nothing left. They left the turbines. They left Tewas. They're completely done. They have to keep moving forward because if they give up or lose this battle, it means nothing because they lost so much. They want to become the King of Mars. They want all the power they can. Like, they've already done so much, and they're still not willing to give up. That's one of the things you gotta know about Tekkadan, They are very strong and capable warriors, but they're still very young, and the fact that they're going through this war is going to be difficult. And they have enemies He's right now on all kinds of sides. Like no, like it's. I doubt that there's gonna be help, and there wasn't, and there wasn't, what you call very much hope that it was gonna be, because they know that this is their last battle, but they know they must keep pushing forward because moving back is impossible for them after what they went through, after giving up so much, after losing so many of their comrades. They can't afford to go back now. They even try to do their best, try to use all their men, even the men who are still weakened and fight and still messed up from battle. Like they're still willing to do this, to fight. No, it's still very sad and heartening. We get to see the characters, especially characters who are not fighting, side characters that we haven't seen a lot in a while. See how they went through. It's very disheartening a little bit because some of these people, are very good and honest, but they're now a part of this major power struggle with a lot of lies and power, the power to literally rule all of space, right? So all of Mars is at stake. It's very big when you think about it. And there's a lot at stake here. And these people are literally throwing their lives away. And Roster, he knows that they're young. He doesn't underestimate them, but he's always had planned events with the Dying Slave, having secret people disguised in their military, right, to attack them, undercover ops, He's not a fool, He's tested Tekkadan, and he knows how strong they are before. Well, if you don't know, watch the earlier episodes of season 2, because I don't want to spoil that. Watch the earlier episodes. It's definitely one you have to know. I really don't, this episode was definitely very good, but one of the things I gotta know, like Tekkadan have lost people before, and this war, it shows how things are gonna go. Oh, it's gonna get worse before it gets better, and this episode shows it. And we're only 5 episodes away from the end of the season, and which means it's definitely gonna. They got McGillis, McGillis is now on the front lines, after losing so. Then he's going to use the symbol of Galahorn, Akihira Kaiho's Gundam, bio to motivate his men to keep fighting, even though they're so young. Roster is willing to kill McGillis. He's willing to do anything. He already has, the Gundam. He already has his team or his loyal men. Kujan, the majority of forces all agree with him that he's going to eliminate McGillis. Tekkadan themselves, they suffered great loss, especially with one of their own. Someone they really cared about, trusted, who's been with them for a long time. Even when he went on a kamikaze mission where you thought was going to work, but turns out to be total failure. This is gonna hurt them very much. Especially when they were already hurt and bleeding from the beginning. This is gonna be very painful for them. However, one of the things they learned from before, when they suffer great loss, they always come back to avenge those they've lost, and come back swinging and fiercer than ever before. That's one of the things I've learned from Tekkadan, from watching them throughout the whole series. From Iron-Blooded Orphans. They may be young kids, but they're also some of the most fiercest warriors that you have ever met. And the fact that this happened, it's just gonna motivate them even more. I can't wait to see how this goes through and what's gonna happen next. But it's probably gonna be one of the best battles. Especially with McGillis now on the front line, could have fight his former best friend and the one he backstabbed and betrayed and almost killed. It's gonna be a fierce battle. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you. Mikazuki and Barbatos did a good job. But they can't be everywhere at once, and they know that. That's one of the reasons why they targeted Mikazuki and Barbatos, because he is their ace pilot. This is a very big deal. I can't wait to see you guys next time. I'm out. Bye.